I'm among those who are disappointed with the destructive outcomes of the first three Starship prototypes from SpaceX. And I also have to say that I'm not really an expert on this area, though I might be considered an expert compared to the average person, but whatever the case, I'd like to see a SpaceX Starship prototype that actually works. As I understand it, the hull of the prototypes is roughly a quarter of an inch thick, or in metric terms, roughly half centimeter thick. And I'm of the mind that that's a contributing factor to the destructive outcomes of the prototypes. Of course, that thick, or shall we say thin hull is necessary to make the ship light enough to reach orbit. And that's understandable, but if it was up to me, Starship would have a 6-inch or 10 centimeter thick hull. Of course, a hull of that thickness would make it very heavy, probably too heavy to reach orbit. But that's only in terms of chemical propulsion. If Starship had some kind of nuclear propulsion, it probably would be able to easily reach orbit and beyond. An ideal method of nuclear propulsion would be nuclear fusion, but as you may know, nuclear fusion hasn't been perfected yet, or has it? But more to the point, nuclear fission is a thing, and it could be a potential power source for Starship. But even though I like the idea of nuclear propulsion for Starship and other spacecraft, the idea of using uranium or plutonium to power spacecraft would not be a good idea because, among other things, uranium and plutonium are extremely expensive and they're heavily regulated by the government. However, I still think nuclear propulsion can still be an option if we consider the thorium alternative. Thorium is an element that can be used to generate nuclear reactions, and unlike uranium and plutonium, it's relatively cheap and definitely more abundant. Not only that, but thorium is said to be difficult to weaponize and produces less radioactive waste. I'm not sure how to build a thorium-powered nuclear rocket engine, but if I'm correct, then thorium-powered Starship prototypes with thick hulls will be less likely to explode. Of course, the people at SpaceX are the experts on this matter, and they definitely know way more about this than I do. So chances are they're going to figure out how to build a working Starship with a thin hull and no thorium reactor. On a somewhat related topic, the Tesla logo looks just like a kitty's nose. Peace, the science out.